So chapter number 9, it's titled Formulation of National Trade Policies, and it opens with a question that says, should a national government intervene to protect the country's domestic firms by taxing foreign goods entering the domestic market or constructing other barriers against imports? And there's a distinction made on the beginning of this topic about free trade and fair trade. On the first one, there's a minimal influence from the government, and on the second one, there's an active intervention from the government. There's a few arguments on an industry level. The first one is the national defense argument that says that the country must be self-sufficient in critical raw materials, machinery, and technology, or else be vulnerable to foreign threats, and it also appeals to the general public. The second one is the infant industry argument, and this one talks about the imposition of tariffs to give U.S. firms temporary protection from foreign competition until firms are fully established, and this is a very powerful economic development strategy. The third one is the maintenance of existing jobs. Jobs in high-wage countries threatened by imports from low-wage countries, for example, from the U.S. to China, for example. And there's two forms of assistance: tariffs and quotas. And the last one of these arguments is the strategic trade theory that says the national government can make its country better off if it adopts trade policies that improve the competitiveness of its domestic firms in oligopolistic industries. There's also a separate topic that says that talks about national trade policies. For example, the economic development programs like the export promotion strategy and the imports substitution strategy. Also the industrial policy and the public choice analysis. The third one talks about consumers versus special interest groups. And there's also barriers to international trade like tariff barriers like export tariffs, transit tariffs, import tariffs, and non-tariff barriers like currency control, investment controls, local purchase requirements, among other things. And there's also a promotion of international trade made by subsidies, foreign trade zones, and the export financing program. There is also a controlling unfair trade practices, and this one talks about the International Trade Administration, which is a division of U.S. Department of Commerce, and it determines whether an unfair trade practice has been made. And there are two types of unfair trade practices. The first one is the government subsidies, and the second one is the unfair pricing practices.